So thank you so much for coming. And as you can see, I will be talking from here. So if you want to get closer, you can feel free to come over here or just walk around or just feel free as you want. And as you can see, I will be also using the projector. So maybe I don't know, the letters might be a bit smaller. So I just feel very free to move around, even while I'm talking, like it's totally open. And I just worry a bit about this projector, like maybe the letters might be cut out. In that case, you can just move a bit because the projector would be out of my control. And today, by the way, I'm Teppei, studying performance at Heimdegger Stuttgart. And I'd like to talk about the Winterreise. When Louise and Augustin kindly offered me this opportunity, we talked about the key concept of the Klimabühne, that is, it's okay to give up. And it was really inspiring and reminded me of one of my projects I did in California 2 years ago. Chiho Oka, a brilliant artist in Japan, made a website called Displacement Winterreise, on which you can rearrange the text of the Winterreise. Since I got this idea while I was in California, I asked her in Tokyo to make this website. As you can see, you can rearrange the text by switching the words like this. And you can add these symbols to the text like this. And you can change the lines like this. And you can trash anything here like this, like lines or symbols or everything. You can put everything here. And so this is what this website is about. And Die Winterreise by Wilhelm Müller, which consists of 24 poems, became quite famous after Franz Schubert composed the piece for the text. Not only it is perhaps one of the best-known song cycles in the Western classical music history, but the piece is perhaps also kind of notorious for its dark, somber, and sad expression. So my idea is, can we make it happy by rearranging the original text? And I want you to participate in the process of this Make Winterreise happy. For example, can you see the text still? I just want to adjust a bit here. Okay. So, for example, the song cycle begins with this sad expression. Fremd bin ich eingezogen, fremd zieh ich wieder aus. Der Mai war mir gewogen, mit manchem Blumenstrauß. Das Mädchen sprach von Liebe, die Mutter gar von Ehe. Nun ist die Welt so trübe, der Weg gehüllt in Schnee. This is the beginning of the first song of the cycle called Gute Nacht. I will now read the translation in English, which I found on the website Oxford Leader. I arrived a stranger I depart. May blessed me with many a bouquet of flowers. The girl spoke of love, her mother even of marriage. Now the world is so desolate, the paths concealed beneath snow. And I rearranged the original text like this. Fremd ist sie eingezogen, steht nun vor meinem Haus. Der Mai ist mir gewogen, mit manchem Blumenstrauß. Das Mädchen spricht von Liebe, die Mutter gar von Ehe. Nun ist die Welt so stille, der Weg gehüllt in Schnee. And in English, it would mean like this. I show you the original text on the left and the rearranged text on the right. She arrived, a stranger, now stands in front of my house. May blesses me with many a bouquet of flowers. The girl speaks of love, her mother even of marriage. Now the world is so calm, the paths concealed beneath snow. Doesn't it sound happy? The Winterreise consists of about 2,000 words, and I am not adding any other words than it appears in the original text. It means we can only use the word which already exists in Winterreise. Accordingly, there are limitation and possibility. In other words, constraints and potential of original 2,000 words. Let me explain a bit more about it. This is an image of a tree, which I found on the internet by Googling Lindenbaum. Leaves and branches could sway in the wind, and a tree would change its shape, but still a tree will stay being a tree. But my project is about making sad songs happy, which seems like trying to displace each connection and succession of the words and make something other than the original tree of the text. I wonder what these words of Winterreise could signify. For instance, what about current political, economic, or ecological situation of the world? We can, of course, use a word such as Trübe, hoping to signify the current pandemic. Nevertheless, there would always remain both possibilities, a sense of lack of a certain vocabulary, and an imagination evoked by such limited vocabularies. I have already shown you an example of the rearrangement of the first stanza of Gute Nacht. The second stanza in the poem continues like this. Ich kann zu meiner Reise nicht wählen mit der Zeit, muss selbst den Weg mir weisen in dieser Dunkelheit. Es zieht ein Mondenschatten aus mein Gefährte mit, und auf dem weißen Matten such ich des Bildes Tritt. And I rearranged it into the following text. Sie muss zu ihrer Reise nicht wählen mit der Zeit, kann selbst den Weg sich weisen in dieser Dunkelheit. Es zieht ein Mondenschatten aus ihr Gefährte mit, und auf dem weißen Matten finde ich des Liebchens Tritt. And this is a comparison of the two English translations. I asked Linda Maria Rodriguez Brenner to edit my German, and 2 years ago, Linda and I really liked this version of the rearrangement. We called it the Stoker one because the protagonist in this poem seemed to be like a kind of person. But I'm not sure if this text could be really considered as something happy. And I started to think more and more about what the word happy could ever mean. This is another try by using a minimal set of words. Verlassen und gefunden. If you want to translate it into English, it would be probably like left and found. And just as in English translation, the text doesn't mean anything. But for me, it looked a bit happy. It sounded like something to be left and something to be found. I also made another found poem by rearranging the original. Gefunden. Ein Lindenbaum, zwei Mädchenaugen, drei Sonnen. And Linda said she loved it and said it's like a wanted poster and a recipe at the same time. When I first explained an idea of the project about making sad Winterreise happy, Linda told me about her personal experience related to Winterreise. She said she once played a game in university in Vienna, which used the text from Gute Nacht, as we have already seen, which is the first poem in the Winterreise. Since she didn't know much about the text at the time, she said she found the line, Die Liebe liebt das Wandern, extremely positive. The line means love delights in wandering, which is in the 5th line of the 3rd stanza from Gute Nacht. Die Liebe liebt das Wandern, Gott hat sie so gemacht, von einem zu dem anderen, fein Liebchen, gute Nacht. And here comes another question of the rearrangement. Isn't this project too opaque or ambiguous? Just as Linda found the line "Die Liebe liebt das Wandern" happy, it is certainly obvious that the poem, the text, or the continuity of the words are already open for possibilities. And if you hope to rearrange certain continuity of the words into another continuities, doesn't it mean that you are displacing from one ambiguity to another ambiguity? The displacement could be simply like this. Die Liebe liebt das Wandern. On the website, you can simply copy-paste the original line without rearranging any words. Also, I love this line from the same stanza, von einem zu dem anderen, which means from one to another. For me, it sounds like a summary from An die Musik, another famous song composed by Schubert. As the title An die Musik indicates, the song is about music as beloved art, which carries listeners from a desolate world into a better world. But we should keep asking, why do we have to displace from one state to another? Can we make a better world? What is a better world? And what is the idea of happy? What is the happiness? And as I did this project 2 years ago, I haven't prepared any conclusion for this talk. Since it is okay to give up, I just give up any rearrangements. And instead, I want to read the last poem of the Winterreise together with all of you as happily as possible. The last poem is called Der Leiermann. Susan Ewens, one of the most famous musicologists who specializes in Schubert, once wrote that the ending of the Winterreise is not sad. Here are the 2 paragraphs from Ewens. After a long time in isolation, hating his loneliness but unable to be otherwise, he says to another person, "Should I go with you?" And the moment is a wonderful one. The cold, the poverty, and the bleak surroundings make it all the more powerful. It is easy to reach out to another person when one is left warm and sheltered, but not when cold, alone, and without hope. The tragic discrepancy between the wanderer's desire for ordinary happiness and the hardships imposed on him by destiny leads not to the more obvious ending in death or insanity, but to a hard-won accommodation with fate. By quoting Ewens, I am not saying neither her interpretation is right nor wrong. Honestly, I personally have never managed to read or listen to the last one of the Winterreise as something happy. I only want to try out one possibility of this here and now, that we might be able to read the last stanza of Der Leiermann happily. And even if we couldn't, who cares? It is okay to give it up. So, could you please read this last stanza with me? Wunderlicher Alter, soll ich mit dir gehen? Bis zu meiner Liebe, deine Leier drehen. Thanks so much.